Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel and editorial discussion for 26th April 2022. My name is Harsh Singh and in this video we shall discuss an editorial from The Hindu which is titled The Goal of an Energy Secure South Asia. This editorial speaks about the convergences and divergences of energy security issues in South Asian economies and the possibility of integration in the future. If you like this initiative, share some love through likes, shares and subscribes. Let's discuss. The editorial says that the South Asian land is a land full of opportunities, almost 5% of global land, yet 25% of global population. And where there is population which wants to grow, which is a growing population economy wise and society wise, there will always be a high demand of electricity. And such demands have shown the growth in these areas. For example, Nepal, since the 2015 earthquake, has grown at the rate of 7% constantly, and this is because of the urban growth which has led to an employment creation. This has happened because there was energy demand in urban areas and infrastructure got created, employment got created and production happened. So this is a good case of Nepal. Similarly, in case of Bangladesh, the places where there is a rural demand of electricity and gas supplies, which are the most prominent ways of energy transfer in Bangladesh, is not available, there solar power has been used and women have been empowered for solar energy integration in the energy setup. So this is a great case study of Bangladesh which has helped the health and education in rural areas, and we know Bangladesh is one of the prosperous economies amongst the South Asian economies. On the other hand, we see the example of Pakistan where there has been an energy demand, but because of energy crisis, industrial units have not been performing optimally, and because of this the textile sector is only going down, and this is one of the reasons why Pakistan's economy is also not doing well. So energy is at the core of the growth or downfall of any country. This is very simple as depicted through three examples. See, the primary objectives of electricity provision are: electricity should be reliable. Reliable means provision 24/7. There should be quality of electricity. Well, there should not be any voltage fluctuation, right? And it should be low cost. Availability should be at very low cost for the users, and protection of consumer interest. Now you would be surprised to know that the price of electricity in Bhutan is the lowest in Asia, in South Asia, and in India it is the most expensive, right? And one imperative why there must be growth in energy consumption is because every 0.46% increase in energy consumption leads to 1% increase in GDP per capita. That means if we are creating energy infrastructure, there will be further growth in GDP of the country. Now, in South Asian economies, we see a lot of divergences. For example, India is a country which is energy starved and it fulfills its energy demands with the help of coal, largely coal. And there are other ways also renewable, but then coal is the one which is leading this demand, and possibly largely the domestic coal itself. The second is Nepal. Nepal fulfills most of its demands through hydroelectric power, as much as 99%, and so with Bhutan as well. But on the other hand, if you look at a country like Bangladesh, they rely on supplies of natural gas which are present in reasonable abundance inside the country itself. And when you look at a country like Sri Lanka, they rely mostly on oil imports, and that's the reason that we see Sri Lankan crisis happening. They do not have even a sufficient amount to be able to import energy from abroad, and this is an oil container which through which we are able to import energy from abroad. So this divergence is the one which is not leading to further integration in the economies. And we also see the level of economic development is also proportional to somehow the presence of energy inside the nation. Bangladesh growing decently, and countries like Bhutan and Nepal are self-reliant on some of the sectors. For example, HEP production, all indigenous. They don't have to import coal and gas and other oil units for energy production. So this is a great thing, right? India and Bhutan had initiated clean development mechanism in 2010, where India was helping Bhutan to produce HEP, hydroelectric power, and they would further sell it back to India as well. Now there are further energy trade mechanisms that can happen between these SAARC countries. Example, India Nepal petroleum pipeline deal. It has been signed, it will be worked out. India will be passing on petroleum to Nepal. Similarly, India Bhutan hydroelectric joint venture project. Myanmar Bangladesh India gas pipeline between these three countries, so that gas can be passed on to these three countries for development. Even Myanmar utilizes sufficient degree of HEP for its energy creation. Similarly, Bangladesh Bhutan India Nepal for energy cooperation, and Tapi pipeline, which is rumored to be extended to Bangladesh as well. All right. So these are various mechanisms which can be implemented even when there are differences. Opportunities areas can be seeked. Now, the future belongs to these transnational agreements, because if these agreements happen, there will be lesser differences amongst people. The people are differentiated with the help of the polity. The regional polity are different, their ethnicity are different, and border issues. The border issues are also the ones which prolong conflict. So conflict can be reduced when there is transnational energy agreement, because this will lead to employment creation, prosperity, infrastructure creation, and for that private financing is required, and for that climate proof infrastructure is also required. So these are two important mandates. And the additional process of reforms in electricity generation, transmission, distribution, rural electrification, research and development, human resource training, environmental issues, all will keep on moving alongside. And noteworthy to mention, a part of editorial itself, is that most of these countries have achieved almost 100% level of electrification in the country. 100% electrification does not mean that all the houses have been provided 100% electricity and reliable electricity all the times. It means that some of the places in every household or every region have been provided electricity, and there is availability of electricity at those places. Pakistan is the one which is a laggard, which is also reflected in its economy as well. All right, so this is what the editorial looks at. Now, some trivial information but yet very important to you. Though we speak about the South Asian region and its prosperity in future, the energy use per capita in South Asia is very less as compared to the global average and even the most prosperous nations. And this is reflected in the social prosperity as well. Social prosperity, economic development, all of are harmonious and in correlation to the energy and electricity consumption. So have a look at the image in the upper map. India 614 units, and Bangladesh and Pakistan only 400 and 200 units. And whereas if you see USA, this is the oil consumed in kgs per capita, and the difference is almost 10 times between India and USA. Similarly, if you see the consumption, electricity consumption in some countries, USA, and see the x-axis is on GDP per capita, the GDP increase per capita, and y-axis in electricity consumption. Beyond a point, when you see the rate of GDP increasing, the energy consumption will not increase, because people are consuming as much as energy that they want, and it's all available to them. Japan, Germany, all flat. Although GDP is increasing, energy consumption is not increasing. But countries like China and India, this is India, there will be further rise in energy consumption as well as GDP rises, because people are energy starved, industries are energy hungry, and so will China and Russia, because they're only growing right now. So you can very well see that we are far below the level of global average, and countries like USA, European countries are far above the global average. This is indicated through their social development, economic development as well. All right, a quick question for you all. Mention 5 impacts of availability of electricity in a developing society. So good impacts, bad impacts, whatever you feel. If you could give an example alongside, that would be great exercise of your brain. Now, if you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments, and subscribes. And if you have some questions, put it down in the comment section. We will ensure to get back to you. Thank you for watching.